Hello, hope you've been happy, healthy, and safe. Today we are going to do a you versus them reading. So, you versus the person on your mind. So, we will call in your angels and your guides, and then we will jump right into the reading. Alright, so calling in the YouTube viewers, guides, angels, higher selves, and anyone else who has a message for them today. Please, Spirit. Okay, perfect. Okay, so hope you've all been doing well and all that kind of good stuff. Okay, Spirit, what do you have for our viewers? What is their current challenge affecting them right now? Please, Spirit. What is the challenge affecting them today, please, Spirit? Okay. So we have the Queen of Air. Let's see what's connecting you both. Okay. Okay, so we have basically you up in your head about something, or maybe both of you are. You're both kind of, it's your connecting energy, so it's what's affecting you both, right? It's Queen energy, so, basically energy that's in charge of basically how other people view the situation, or how each of you view the situation, I think, because it came in the reverse. It's probably, and it's connecting you both. It's how you both show up to the relationship and connect together, how you see the relationship, how you basically, queens, lead each other, like how you influence each other, how you just really show up to the relationship, I'm feeling. Okay, and then we have 8 of Earth on your side. So I feel like you're showing up in your Earth energy, so you're very grounded, that sort of thing. I feel like maybe you are trying to educate yourself on certain details when it comes to this relationship, okay? On their side, they're sitting in their 2 of Air energy, and it's come with a bit of it came upside down, but it's like they're in their head a little bit. They're slightly confused maybe about this relationship, okay, and where it's going. So that kind of makes sense why the Queen of Air. Okay, let's get more information on your side and then your side. It feels like you're just kind of, I don't know, you're trying to figure the situation out, like with the education. You're trying to get more knowledge about the connection. You're kind of, and then they're just plain confused about the connection, okay? You got the 2 of Water. So in your emotions about this partnership, you're basically, the knowledge I think you're kind of going after or trying to get is, you're trying to see if there's commitment here, if this is a relationship that will, is it worth investing in? Is it, You know, is it going to give you the things that you actually desire, or is it going to, you know, is it going to be a relationship that maybe you've had in the past? You know, like a similar relationship you've had in the past. That's kind of what you're trying to figure out. You're kind of up in your head about that. Okay, and their confusion was their confusion about. Their confusion, they got Queen of Fire, so they're confused about their passions, what they're determined to, get out of this relationship, what they want basically in general. I feel like they're kind of, they're not they're not sitting, because this came in their queen reverse. The Queen of Fire came in the reverse. They're not confident about this relationship. They're not confident about where this relationship is going, and maybe they're a little bit confused. Maybe there's two parties in this relationship, and they're confused about which party to take or to go after, if that makes sense. Let's get a little bit more. I kind of feel like there's some confusion, and I'm not sure on which side it is coming from, but I feel there's a confusion because I do feel like there might be a third party situation. And so there's confusion about, you know, what's really happening here. Is this something worth investing in? You know, it doesn't feel like a committed relationship. It feels like maybe it's just in the starting phases where, you know, maybe you're dating but you haven't agreed to see each other exclusively or something like that, and maybe there's other parties involved on maybe one side or both sides, and so that's, I feel, where the confusion is coming in here. Okay. Yeah, we have on your side pulled the ego card, new beginnings and healing. So it feels like you're healing past some relationships of your past. Basically, you're healing from relationships of your past. You're still stuck a little bit up in your ego about those relationships. Maybe there's a little bit of illusion there, about where you stand in a relationship. So what I'm getting from this on your side is, if, say, for example, you think, you know, you were all that in the relationship and they really didn't contribute or whatever, be real with yourself and ask yourself, like, was this really the case? Or were you kind of maybe stuck in your ego a little bit, where you didn't give maybe as much as you should have given because you were maybe distracted by other things? Okay. There's a sense of dependency here too. So I feel, for some of you, I feel like maybe you're still dependent or stuck on a past person. Maybe you were dependent on them, and you're still a little bit stuck on them. But remember, that's probably just your ego talking, like trying to, because I feel like there's a pull for you to, like, it's almost like you're going to be pulled back, or there's a opportunity for you to be pulled back into that situation. In spirit, I'm getting from spirit that you need to really Connect with your intuition and less with your ego, like about this situation. So, whatever that means for you, okay? And then on their side, Page of Fire. So, they're trying to come up, they're trying to be enthusiastic, okay? She's got this sword or wand in front of her, like it's almost like she's presenting it, but it's almost like she's using it as a guard too, like she's like, so it's kind of like um whoever the other person is, like they're trying to be creative about how they come across, but at the same time there's a little bit of defensiveness or resistance. It's kind of like here, but I'm giving you this, but I kind of don't want to. Yeah, so I don't know, and it feels like they're kind of, they feel up and down, like they feel passionate one day and then they feel not the next, like they're kind of up and down here. It's like, yeah, no, yeah, no, they take it and they give it. And that's leading to confusion not only for them, but it's leading to confusion because every time they do this, this kind of puts you in more of a I don't know about this. So it, there's an element here, and the creative too. It's like they're creating. It's almost creating scenarios to impress you. And that's pushing you back a little bit as well. You're kind of like, you're giving too much information, and your information is kind of, so spirit saying like, pay attention to that. If there's any sort of red flags or anything that you're like, I don't know about this, kind of listen to that. Like, don't dismiss it. Like, like let's say this person is really attractive and really, maybe they're wealthy, maybe they're well off, or they have a lot to offer, right? But something just is not jiving. Something doesn't sound right or feel right. Yeah, there's just something off. Trust that. If something feels off, trust it. Like, because I feel like there's a little bit of hesitancy on your side. But there's also a bit of illusion around something. Like, something, I don't know if it's your ego or their ego, or there's just something that just feels like it's not entirely, I don't know, helpful in this situation. Okay. The suggestions from spirit, basically, freedom. Hang on to your freedom. So there's a element here of them, I want to say, being kind of, they come in hot and they come in passionate, but then it's like they go out just as fast and as cold as they came in. And there's an element here of, it feels almost like codependency, like they're coming in strong and then they're confused by, because they can feel your resistance a little bit, like that you pull back a little bit, and they feel very much like they want to lock you in. Okay, so pay attention to that as a possible another red flag. You know, set boundaries because this feels new. It doesn't even feel like it almost doesn't even feel like you're dating yet. It feels like I don't know. It's either in the you're dating casually or you're not even dating yet, but it just feels and maybe part of that could be because it's so hot and cold and so like I want to say wishy-washy that you're like you know like I don't know about this, so just spirit saying hang on to your freedom, you know, don't set barriers right off the bat, you know, say I don't accept this kind of behavior, or you know, like what do you want from me? Maybe that's the question that needs to be asked, is what do you actually expect out of this? Like, do you see something long term? Do you want more of a commitment? Like, what do you want? Because I feel if you're both not on the same page right off the bat, then there's going to be that conflict later, because one side's like, well, no, I just wanted like a fling, and the other side's like, well, no, I was looking for someone to marry, you know. So that needs to be established kind of right off the bat. Okay, what else, spirit? The opportunity, this come upside down. There's a lot of I'm picking up from this a lot of darkness, right? And something needs to be illuminated here. In regards to this, and that might be exactly what I just said. Like, you guys need to see like exactly what's going on here. Like, what do you both want from this? And you know, and make that illuminated, because I also get in the communication, I get like knowledge needs to be had. It hides with underneath the darkness that needs to be illuminated through communication. That's how I read this card, okay? But it's very possible that there could be opportunity here for you once you actually do that, but you won't know until maybe you flat out ask that question. And maybe, you know, maybe a little bit of ego is like you're scared to ask that question because, you know, it's almost like you don't want the answer. I feel like, I don't know why that's coming through, but yeah. Okay, what else, spirit? Leadership. Yeah, you, somebody, I feel like somebody, this came out kind of sideways. I feel like, and that kind of is connecting you both, right? When it comes out sideways. It means like on both sides of the party, you guys need to, one of you needs to take the lead. Like, it feels like almost like nobody wants to take the lead here. It feels like, I don't know if the other person is afraid maybe, to come across as they're needy or whatever. If they take the lead, you on your side, I feel like maybe you're a little bit, you are always the leader, and so there's a little bit of ego there that you kind of want to not lead, if that makes sense. So, but in order for this to go anywhere, like, because it feels like it's like not going anywhere, someone needs to take their power and take the first steps to leading. I do feel like it is, because the bear, when I turn this upright, it's actually facing them. So maybe you're waiting for them to take the lead. I'm not sure, but in any regards, there's an element of them taking the lead somehow. Okay, what else do you have to say, Spirit? Okay. Wisdom. Yeah. You guys both need knowledge in this situation. I really do feel like there's a lack right now, and like if you can see in this card, she's diving deep. It feels like you guys need to dive deep to get the knowledge that you need, because she's coming out of darkness, and I think that's what will bring you out of darkness, out of confusion, out of everything, is when you actually dive deep. There's an element here of somebody actually wants this to go somewhere, and the other person they're just not sure. They're just like, I don't know, right? So it needs to be communicated what both parties actually want, that needs. So if this moves on to just be a friendship, then hey, that's cool. If both parties are like, let's just go our separate ways, or maybe you'll come together. So, but you won't know until somebody opens those lines of communication. Okay, let's get a get any more on this? No. Okay, let's get a surrender card, and then we'll get a message from the universe, and then we'll move on to another reading, I think. That's how we're doing this. Okay, so surrender to your soul's path. Your life's journey has been perfectly designed for your soul growth. Embrace every lesson and every moment. So I do feel like there is a lesson to be learned at the end of this. Yeah, like it just feels like this connection sort of feels like it was meant to happen, but not necessarily is it meant to move forward. Like, yeah, and I have somebody standing here. So somebody's guide is coming through really strong. They say this connection is most likely meant to have happened, right? And I feel like this connection is very strong. It's quite strong, and I think that's what the confusion is all about, is because it's like, wow, it's so strong, but yet I don't understand what's going on here from both sides. Like, it just feels like both sides are just like blown away by, like, is this even real, sort of thing. Like, yeah, and it just feels like both of you don't know what you want. Like, you don't know what the other person wants, you don't know what you want, and there's just an element that you both need to surrender to how you actually feel in this situation, and be real with yourself, because there's always a lesson, no matter what, whether you're supposed to be together or whether you're supposed to go on your separate journeys, there's definitely a lesson that will come out of it by you guys communicating, okay? Let's get a message from, thank you. Live your soul, not your role. So again, you got surrender to your soul's path, and then you got live your soul, not your role. So yeah, you know, like if this partnership is meant for you, it will be. But you have to listen to what your spirit and your soul is actually saying. Right? Like, and, you know, not your role. Like, so if, say, let's just say you come from a wealthy, I don't know why this is coming through, but you come from wealthy family. And say this other person, maybe they don't, right? And so your role within your family is, oh, well, I have to date someone equally as awesome and as financially stable as I am. I can't date somebody who has nothing, right? And Spirit is saying, like, maybe because I do feel like there's other parties, and I almost feel like it's on both sides. So maybe, you know, you have somebody in your life that you're kind of dating or serious with, and they have somebody in their life that, you know, is kind of serious, or they're dating or whatever. And you met, and there was maybe this connection, but you're like, I could never be with them because they're poor, right? And that's maybe why the ego card is coming in. And I kind of do feel like with this card that's kind of like what happened here. Like, you guys met, there was a connection, and then there was confusion, right? And so Spirit is really saying, like, live your connection. So if you had a connection with this person, then trust that. Don't worry about, you know, if they have less than you or whatever, because in the end it'll work out. And as spirits, our currency is love. Our currency literally is love. Like, on other, I don't know if on other planes there's actually money. I don't think so. I think it's just love. So and I think maybe that's kind of what we're kind of here to discover is, you know, you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have anybody to share it with, what's the point, right? So I don't know why I'm picking that up, but I'm picking that up for somebody, okay? So, okay, I think that's all the messages I have for you for this reading. I hope you stay happy, healthy, and safe. Until next time.